Okay then, thank you. Vice Lord Lieutenant, Lord Mayor of the City of Manchester, colleagues, students and guests, welcome to the 5th Annual Making a Difference Awards for Social Responsibility. My name's Julian Skirman, I'm the Director of Social Responsibility, and as well as overseeing the organisation of these wonderful awards each year, my job here is to get the celebration off to a good start. And I'd like to start, first of all, by saying a big thank you to the pupils and staff from Loretto High School who provided our live music this evening. We have an amazing tradition of Caribbean steel pan music in Manchester going back to the 1950s, and Paul and other people across Manchester keep this alive today. And we're really pleased that the fee that we've given the school will also be reinvested back into the school. They have a fantastic record for music education, and music education is not accessed by as many people as it should be, and this is going to be reinvested in that school. So we're really pleased. Thank you very much for playing such happy music. They're going to go downstairs now, and they've got a special meal from us as well as part of our thanks. So tonight's about recognising and celebrating the achievements of a wide range of people who are contributing to the university's distinctive commitment to social responsibility. It's pleasing then to see so many familiar faces, but also so many new people and projects this year, and that's an important aspect to social responsibility. So much new work happens each year. You're all welcome to this important event in our annual calendar. Let me run through some housekeeping then. So phones, please check their turn to silent, but don't switch them off. If you tweet MAD Awards is the hashtag, and you can follow that throughout the evening. Use this. Every video you see tonight will go up live. It'll be switched over from private to public, and if you follow that hashtag, you can see what's going on throughout the evening. So please join in the conversation. Cameras, please note that this event is being filmed and live streamed on the University of Manchester's YouTube channel. Me and James's mum always tune in, so hello Patricia and Francis. You're very joining us there from Wales and Berkshire way, I think. Yeah, somewhere down there. It's all the same, isn't it? If you have any friends, colleagues, family members at home, please let them know, though. It's youtube.com/University Manchester, and they can join in. So if you've got other people you think would like to look at this, please let them know that. Alarms. There isn't one, so if you hear one, don't run. Listen, first of all, very carefully to our fire marshals, who will tell you exactly where to go in an emergency. Drinks will be available throughout the evening. We've already had to order some more. I've been asked to authorise that out of my budget, so that's okay, Patrick. That's been done already, so if Adam's around as well, if he can sort out some more drinks. And toilets, please make sure you go when you need to. And they can be found downstairs. You'll see where they are, just downstairs. So, one more thanks as well, a really important one, is the judges. So many of the judges I know are here tonight. You spend a huge amount of time. I'm always amazed by how many entrants we get. I sort of compare our Social Responsibility Awards to that difficult second album. We thought when we first did these 5 years ago that all of our great ideas would be on that first album, and we'd have very few entries after that. And that's what happens to many bands. They've been making music all their lives. Their first album's brilliant, and then you don't hear of them anymore. We were worried about that with social responsibility. But actually what's happened is grown and grown, and I think that really shows what an alive agenda this is in the institution. There's so much innovation each year, and the judges have had to do an enormous amount of judging, really difficult decisions, and everybody here today, whether they're highly commended or whether they win, should be really proud. So that's the introduction. It now pleases me to pass over to our Vice President for Social Responsibility and mic control for the evening, Professor James Thompson. Thank you.
So thank you to Julian. Yes, I'm James Thompson, Vice President for Social Responsibility, and I'm going to be your compere tonight. The BAFTAs had Joanne alumni. You've got me. I can't do a Joanna impression, I'm afraid, but this is what you've got. I'm really looking forward to this evening. And it is incredible that this is actually the 5th year we've been doing this. And this year we've had the highest number of entries that we've ever had. And they all showcase excellent work that has been done and making a real difference to communities and the world that we live in. Before I go any further, and before I introduce how the evening is going to work, I'd like to welcome the President and Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dame Nancy Rothwell, to introduce the evening.
So thank you very much indeed, James and Julia, and I should say Lord, Vice Lord, ladies and gentlemen, but you're all extremely welcome here, and we're particularly pleased that Lord Mayor, Councillor June Hitchens is here, and Vice Lord Lieutenant of Greater Manchester, Paul Griffiths. We're particularly delighted you're here. So the rest of you may be here as a member of staff, a student, a graduate of the university, a member of our General Assembly or our board. You may be a colleague, a nominator. Any of these you may be hoping to win tonight, but you're all very welcome. This is a really important event in our university calendar, and I'm really grateful for you all for giving it your time. I'd like to highlight 2 people in particular who are very important in the university who are here: the Chair of our Board of Governors, Edward Astle, and, of course, our Chancellor, Lem Sissay. And this is really important, and Lem has been a huge advocate for social responsibility, and he's going to present some of the awards. So just very briefly, because I'm sure you want to actually get on to the ceremony, let me just highlight just a few of the things from the past year. And it's been a very busy year for social responsibility. We've had a record number of visitors, over 1.3 million, to our cultural institutions, the Manchester Museum, the Whitworth, Jodrell Bank Discovery Centre and the John Rylands Library on Deansgate. We've become the first of Britain's universities to create more than 1,000 school governors from our staff and alumni. I'll hear a bit more about that a little later. Over 2,000 local students from Manchester, all first-generation entrants to university, have progressed through our Manchester Access programme. Our first entrants from Ethiopia, again helped by Lem, arrived and joined more than 200 others from sub-Saharan African countries who have been sponsored through our amazing Equity and Merit Masters Scholarship. The Works, our flagship employment programme to support unemployed people back into work, was highlighted as an exemplar initiative in a major commission into the civic role of universities, and is moving to a new site closer to the university and the city centre in Ardwick. We've become formally accepted and accredited as a living wage foundation to protect living standards for our lowest paid staff. A new community interest company, the University Ardwick Partnership, has been formed by staff and local community members to work together to enhance well-being in our neighbouring community. We were recognised as England's most LGBT-friendly university in the Stonewall Equality League workplace. We've made major commitments to eliminate avoidable single-use plastic by 2022 and to play our full part in Greater Manchester's carbon-neutral target by 2038. And nearly 5,000 first-year students completed a sustainability challenge during their first week, Welcome Week, as part of the wider Stellify initiative. I could go on, that's just the past year. But we are still Britain's first and only university to have social responsibility as one of its top strategic goals. And it's been quite difficult to measure our overall impact. But there are a few measures of this. We were awarded the very first and only gold watermark for public engagement by the National Coordinating Centre for Public Engagement. And this was assessed by a team on the effectiveness of our engagement with society through our research, teaching and learning, cultural institutions and professional service activities. Many of you will know I'm not a great fan of league tables, but occasionally I do like to highlight them, obviously when we do well. There is a new one, the THE University Impact Rankings, and in April we learned that the evidence we've submitted on how we contribute to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals placed us first in Europe and third in the world in this new league table out of nearly 500 universities across the world. So, in addition, of course, there are many other measures which are at lower levels, perhaps, but for example, today at lunchtime, I was pleased to take part in the Volunteer of the Year Awards, student, staff and alumni volunteers. Some of them will be here today. but again, this reflects the massive contribution that our community makes to society, both locally and globally. External forms of recognition are really important, but so is internal recognition. And that is exactly why we're here tonight. It's for us to recognise, reward and celebrate what you have done. You as individuals, you as teams, you have done fantastic things. So I want to thank you all, whether you win or not. But now it just leaves me to say thank you again to those who entered, thank you to all those who judged, and thank you all for coming. Good luck, everyone. I wish everybody an enjoyable and inspiring evening. You've earned it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. As compare for and host for this evening's awards, it's my job to keep things running to time and introduce the many different awards that we have. But before I do that, I want to ask Lem, our Chancellor, to come onto stage. Lem is going to be giving out the certificates and awards this evening. Welcome, Lem. Give him a round of applause. We thought we'd lost him, but he's here.
It's
great.
Yes,
Now,
yes,
Lem,
yes.
this is your third year coming back to do
Yes,
these awards.
my third year.
You
Yes.
do lots of awards where you have to shake lots of people's hands.
I do,
But you
yeah.
keep coming back to this one.
Yes.
Tell us a bit why this one is special for you.
Because this shows me how unique our university is, and shows me the dedication of both the students and the staff. And it's a joyous occasion.
Correct.
It's wonderful to see people heralded for the work that we do to make a difference. It's at the heart of what the university is about. It typifies why I think became or was voted to become Chancellor of your university. It's typified in this event. It is my favourite event.
That's a popular referendum we were very, very happy with, obviously. Lem, you stand next to Susan. So, tonight there will be 8 award categories. We will also be celebrating our award-winning School Governors Initiative. But don't worry, you'll be getting a short comfort break in the middle when you can top up your glasses, speak to your friends, and so forth. And the evening should finish at about 8:30. So let me explain how the awards will be announced. Most awards will have people recognised under a highly commended category. If your name is announced, please come up onto the stage, receive your certificate, and then return to your seat. The overall winners in each category will also be asked to come up onto stage in exactly the same way. The only difference is you'll be asked to quickly pose for an official photo with Lem while we celebrate how you've made a difference. You can also celebrate your win with an additional photo opportunity. After you've left the stage and before you go back to your seat, please stand by the banners just down here and you'll get an additional photo and you'll have a chance to download that photo for your personal use at the end of the event. As we did last year, we also have an award that has been voted for by the public, and that's the Outstanding Contribution to Widening Participation category, and that will have an additional award decided by those public events, as well as a winner and a highly commended award made by the judging panel. 3 entries in this category were shortlisted by the judging panel, and with the help of our media services team, a short film was produced of each of the public to vote on. You will have to wait till later in the evening to find out the result of that vote. I think it is now closed. So, our first award. Our first award this evening is for Outstanding Teaching Innovation in Social Responsibility. I would like to invite Clive Agnew, Vice President for Teaching, Learning and Students, to introduce this award. Clive.
Thank you, James. It's a great pleasure to be able to celebrate the award for Outstanding Teaching Innovation and Social Responsibility. I was reminded that I've presented this award every time for the last 5 years. And each time, Julian gives us instructions of what we must say and to keep us tightly to script at the time. Whatever we must do, no impromptu jokes, please. So a cowboy rides into town wearing a paper hat and a paper shirt. He was arrested for rustling. Oh. So, to the more important matters. This year, in this category, there are 2 highly commended entries and 1 overall winner. Can we have a drum roll, please? And the first highly commended award goes to a project where students on Business Administration Master's course have helped over 20 UK-based charities tackle key business issues from organisational design to strategic marketing. Please congratulate Francis Johnson, Xavier Duran, Phil Galvin, Mike Arundale and all the supervisory staff for the not-for-profit project. If you'd all like to come up, please, onto the stage. In this category, the second highly commended award goes to an inclusive healthcare education programme for non-native English speakers. These co-developed English health lessons for students learning English who have now a wider uptake via and reach via online learning. The highly commended award goes to Sheena Cruikshank, Ian Miller, Tahina Alam, Ewan Chammings, Indira McLean and Ian Neild. Please come up and receive your award. And so we turn to the winners, and I have a real personal interest in this because my daughter came here to study her Masters in this area. And the winners of the award have developed a prison-based module for students studying criminology in which 10 third-year undergraduates and 10 inmates of Her Majesty's Prison Risley learnt together inside the prison's education setting. The Outstanding Teaching Innovation and Social Responsibility Award goes to Emily Turner, Rose Broad, Caroline Miles for their Learning Criminology project. Please come up and receive your award. So here's a little more about their work.
In prisons today, access to education is about employability, it's about access to a job. There isn't really any access to higher education as such, so this project aims to address that scarcity by providing inmates with access to higher education. The project is Learning Criminology Inside. It's run by Emily Turner, Caroline Miles and Rose Broad. The project takes 10 BA criminology students into HMP Risley and they have seminars alongside prison-based students. It's seeing the theory put into practice, I suppose. For the prisoners, it gives them a sense of the world around them and it helps them to understand the processes that they'll be going through sort of on their way out through rehabilitation and then eventually, into the outside world again. Congratulations, Emily, Rose and Caroline. I know how much hard work and planning has gone into this project. I'm really excited to see what the future brings for other criminology students doing the module and hopefully other students at the rest of the university as well.
Thank you, Clive, and congratulations to our first winners. And on to our second awards category, which is for outstanding contribution to equality, diversity and inclusion. And I would like to invite Rachel Cowan, the academic lead for equality, diversity and inclusion, to introduce these awards. Rachel.
Thank you. I'm delighted to present these awards this evening, which recognise commitment to equality, diversity and inclusion across the university. Let's see. The first highly commended award goes to a collaboration between Manchester Museum and the Manchester drag collective Family Gorgeous, which brought queer storytelling to museum objects in an afternoon of tours and cabaret. Please congratulate Peter Fallon, Michelle Scott and Deborah Ward.
So,
The second highly commended award goes to someone who established the Diverse Voices Chairs Commission and Doctoral Scholarship Fund, alongside a broad range of programmes that engender equality and widen participation for a diversity of students in politics and in the political science profession. A highly commended award goes to Angelia Wilson. The last highly commended award goes to an initiative that's been created to provide higher education to African students that are most in need. Please congratulate Sarah-Lise Nadajar and Martin Weigand. And now for the winner of the Outstanding Contribution to Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Award. It goes to a hate crime prevention project that uses Holocaust education as a foundation to teach young people about equality and human rights, so reducing hate crime across schools and communities in Manchester. The award goes to Catherine Milan. We're now going to show a film about Catherine's work.
Over the last few years, there's been a massive rise in hate crime, in all kinds of hate crime, but specifically racial hate crime. And that really has come out of things like the EU referendum, Manchester bomb, the London bomb, all of those things have kind of accumulated. And there's just been a growing kind of unease in communities and in schools. So the Diversity Champions project, it brings a selection of young people together from a variety of schools across Manchester. What it does is it invites them to become diversity champions through a kind of specifically designed educational programme that talks about harassment and hate, where it comes from, how it develops and what you can do about it. So in terms of an impact for just those individual pupils from schools, they've had a massive transformational change from not really knowing anything about this stuff to actively wanting to do more. They've been able to translate that over to people of their own age. So then what they're doing is encouraging them to be active bystanders and challenge this kind of negative behaviour. Catherine, you're doing an amazing job. The Diversity Champions programme is absolutely inspirational. You're inspirational, and I hope that you get the opportunity to take the programme forward and that many more young people get to benefit from it.
Congratulations to Catherine, to everyone, and thank you to Rachel. The next awards this evening are for outstanding public and community engagement. In this award, we are recognising outstanding examples where the university engages with the public to share knowledge and enrich lives, and how we inspire and are inspired by our communities locally, nationally and internationally. As in past years, this category received the most applications, actually making up 1/3 of all entries. This clearly shows how passionate we are about working with the public and our community partners to make a difference. So I would like to invite the Lord Mayor, Councillor June Hitchin, onto the stage, and she's going to hand out the awards in our local engagement category. Welcome. And also, good round of applause. Thanks, June. And also, she's going to be joined by Sheena Cruikshank, the academic lead for public engagement, and Atiya Chowdhury, the chair of Manchester's BME network, to announce the winners. Atiya and Sheena.
I'm going to have to do this. Okay. Our very first Public and Community Engagement Award is for Outstanding Local Engagement. This award recognises outstanding contributions made to our local communities that have achieved demonstrable benefit by engaging with or working in close partnership with communities across Greater Manchester. Tonight, there will be a staff and a student award, and we'll start with the student award. Opens envelope. Page 1. The winner, oh no, that's not right. Oh yeah, it is right. The winner, I haven't even had a drink. The winner for the outstanding local engagement by students goes to a project set up with the aim of providing the public with the tools to clear the haze that often surrounds scientific news stories in this troubling era of fake news. The winners are the Have You Heard team. Sorry. Here is a short film about their work.
So all scientists get really upset when they see bad science in news headlines, because they, from an integrity point of view, really understand how much work and effort and evidence has gone into making that great science. The Have You Heard project worked with a set of community groups to produce online resources and infographics, which actually help all of us, whatever our backgrounds or interests in science may be, to look behind the headlines. Who was involved in that science? Who else is speaking about that science? What is the evidence behind the science? And does the message actually match what happened in the lab? They've moved beyond the community groups, working with local community radio stations, and to visit a number of different science festivals to carry that message forward and to really equip all of us to think behind the headlines. A huge congratulations to you all. You're doing amazing, high quality public engagement work. You're making science conversations really meaningful, and you're equipping all of us, scientists and non-scientists, to have great conversations and to understand what is happening in terms of science behind the headlines.
Fantastic. So next, we have the Staff Awards for Outstanding Local Engagement. There are 3 highly commended awards in this group. The first highly commended award goes to someone who has broadened the reach of the Manchester Institute of Biotechnology's public programme to audiences that are not traditionally served by science outreach initiatives. Please congratulate Nick Weiss. The second highly commended award goes to an initiative where dentistry students are providing free dental care to refugees, asylum seekers and vulnerable migrants in Greater Manchester. The highly commended winner is Joanne Cunliffe. The last highly commended award goes to a project that brought together women who'd experienced stillbirth with researchers, midwives and creative practitioners in order to raise awareness of both stillbirth and also engage the public with the research on placentas and stillbirth. The highly commended winners are the Still Life pilot team. The staff winner for the outstanding local public and community engagement goes to a project that introduced 250 school children from across Greater Manchester to computer modelling of airflow together with virtual reality. It is based on technology developed as part of a research programme funded by Jaguar Land Rover. The winners are Adrian Harwood and Alistair Ravel. So we're now going to show you a short film about Adrian and Alistair's work with the local school children.
I think getting people engaged in science can be quite challenging, and the study of airflows and aerodynamics, students might have heard those words before, but they won't necessarily know that that's what you might study if you go into science and engineering. The project that Adrian and Alistair did was called The Need for Speed, and it was about combining high-tech simulations of how air moves around objects, which let you see how the air flows, with really low-tech plasticine models that people can physically manipulate and change the shape of. So people get a sort of hands-on, tactile approach to examining this problem. The big challenge is really the development of the software. These simulations are things that usually run on huge computers and take days, weeks, or sometimes months to run. They've stripped it down to something that runs in real time. So actually, while you're interacting with it, it's running these simulations that would usually take weeks for people to run. So bringing something like that into the hands of students really makes future science and future engineering careers a possibility for students. The project's been hugely successful. It's engaged over 250 students in Greater Manchester from 8 different schools. But there's lots more schools out there that want to engage in projects like this, and fortunately this project has put the tools in place to allow us to roll it out to a much bigger audience in the future. Congratulations, Alistair and Adrian, on your huge efforts on the Need for Speed project. It's brilliant and we're all enjoying playing with your new Fluids toys.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Can I also take this opportunity to just thank Julian, James and Suzanne for all the really hard work that goes into these and for involving us in the community. We really enjoy doing this and it's a fantastic evening. So the second Public and Community Engagement Awards are for public contributors and partners, people who work closely with colleagues from the university, so together we can make a difference. The first highly commended award goes to a small group with lived experience of mental health problems who generously contribute their personal perspectives, enabling researchers to produce research that is grounded in real-life needs. The highly commended award goes to Karma's Group. The second highly commended award goes to someone who co-led the Audio Lab and Mix Lab projects, which have engaged young people seeking employment with science. The award goes to Gemma Tanswell. Unfortunately, Gemma cannot be here this evening, but Lewis Stocks will be collecting it on her behalf. The last highly commended award goes to a community-led event which gave voice to a common concern about rubbish in neighbourhoods across the city. The award goes to Sherilyn McGregor, Simon Pardo, Anna Bunny and Claudia Alonso. Now coming to the winners. The winners of the Outstanding Public and Community Engagement Initiative for a public contributor or partner goes to a successful initiative aimed at tackling mental health problems amongst Persian-speaking communities, both on campus and in Greater Manchester. I'm delighted to announce the winners are Amir Kashmiri and Malini Safari for the Yarin project. Let's find out more about the Yarin project.
I came from Iran as an asylum seeker 2001 with my 2 children. Although I am an educated person, it was very hard. I feel lonely, depressed, anxious, and fear for my safety and my children. Yaron is an organization mainly for Farsi speakers, and the help we offer them is mainly about their mental health. They have a lot of problem here, language barrier, they have isolation, and also lost their identity. I think since 2015, we start working with Persian Society in Manchester, and our link was Dr. Amir Kashmiri and Melina Safari. And a lot of students came to us and they want to involve, and they need to bring the issue. And we are very proud of Yaron work in Manchester. I would like to say thank you to all the people and to Persian Society. I think I need to say thank you to Yaron for the good job, and we are here now. Thanks a lot.
Wow, what amazing public and community engagement projects. And we're not even finished yet. So the last Public Engagement Award in this first half of the evening is to recognise the outstanding contributions made by our cultural institutions. The final awards for outstanding public and community engagement will be made after the break in the second half of tonight's event. So if your activity's not been mentioned yet, don't worry, we will be returning to it in this category again later. Did not want to come out this time. The Highly Commended Award for Outstanding Contributions from our cultural institutions goes to a project that's been designed to help schools diversify the curriculum through literature by creating and giving free books and workshops to children and young people in schools across Manchester. The award goes to Catherine Milan. He just wanted another hug. So the winners of this award have developed a groundbreaking engagement between museum curators, learning experts and Manchester educators to develop a whole school activity around an ancient Egyptian Shabti displayed in each school. So the winners are the Egyptian Shabti project.
Well, Manchester Museum at the moment are doing things differently, and that's because we're going through a transformation. Because of this, we're currently only partially open, which means our ancient galleries are closed. And as part of our engagement programmes and learning programmes, we work with lots of schools, and we normally have around 20,000 pupils who actually visit to see our Egyptology collections. So as a consequence of this, we have created a programme called Shabtis in Schools. It's an Egyptian figurine, which is around about 2,500 to 3,000 year olds, and they act as servants to the deceased. And so these Shabtis have gone out into the community, into local schools. At the moment we have 6 out in schools, in primary and in secondary schools. And I think what's been quite amazing is the sense of awe and wonder that these tiny little figurines have created. So congratulations Amy, Kat and Campbell. We feel very proud at Manchester Museum to be able to have such wonderful staff on our teams.
Thank you to Sheena and Atia. As Sheena mentioned, there will be more public and community engagement awards after the break. And now for our 4th award of the evening. This is for outstanding benefit to society through research. And I'd like to invite Colette Fagan, Vice President for Research, onto the stage to introduce the award. Colette.
Hello, I am delighted to present this award, which recognises success in collaborative working, partnerships and knowledge exchange activities that have enabled our research to deliver significant benefits to society. In this category, we recognise both emerging impact and for outstanding benefit to society through research. This evening we have 2 highly commended entries and 2 winners. So let's start with recognition for emerging impact. This highly commended award goes to research that proposed and tested new solutions for integrating large amounts of clean energy technologies into electricity distribution networks, so improving network efficiency. Have you guessed who you are yet? Known as Smart Street, the award goes to Eduardo, Luis Daniel and Christopher. Turning to our Outstanding Benefit of Research to Society Award, the first highly commended award goes to a unique model that brings together research, undergraduate and postgraduate teaching, and outreach, and public engagement, focused around the theme of language diversity in the city. The award goes to Yaron Mattress and Multilingual Manchester. The second highly commended award goes to a project that has been working with a range of partners to develop new ways of thinking about interventions which help to unlock everyday practices to tackle unsustainable patterns of consumption. Now, the award goes to Alison Brown and Claire Houlihan. Unfortunately, they cannot be here tonight, and they've asked Sherilyn to collect the award on their behalf. And tonight we have joint winners in this category. The first winners have demonstrated that their recommendations can improve safety in mental health and self-harm services. They aim to reduce suicide rates countrywide by 10% by 2021. The winners are Pauline Turnbull, Louis Appleby, Nav Kapir and Catherine Rodway. And here is a short film about their work.
The National Confidential Inquiry into Suicide and Safety and Mental Health, that has been running for a really long time, and through sort of 20 years of research, they've identified the clear things that you need to do to support preventing and reducing suicides. Obviously, every suicide is a tragedy, and any suicide is one too many. So with the help of the kind of fantastic team in Lewis, Nav, Pauline and Catherine, this particular project that we've done nationally is the first of its kind. So it's the first time that we've taken that research and kind of give it to the NHS and say, this is what you need to do in order to reduce suicides, in order to save lives. And what that has then led to is a kind of recognition that there is so much more still to do, and that sort of signalled that we would continue to improve mental health services in order to reduce suicides, in order to save lives. Congratulations on the award. The work that you have done has been so incredibly valuable and supportive of what we want to achieve when we look at reducing suicides and preventing suicides in this country.
And the second winners of the Outstanding Benefit to Society through Research goes to a successful exchange of academic knowledge into a local city-region strategy through collaboration with Greater Manchester and Anthis Consulting to develop a local climate change action plan. The winners are Scatter, Carly, Jays, Alice, Kevin and John. Please join us on stage. So let's find out more about Scatter.
We have a certain amount of carbon left that we can emit as a species before we create catastrophic climate change. Cities are responsible for about 3/4 of global carbon emissions. So it's an absolutely critical challenge how we reduce the carbon emissions from cities. The Scatter project really picks up this challenge and says, we know what the carbon budget is for the world, we know what it is for specific countries, what does that then look like for cities? So how much carbon does Manchester, Greater Manchester, have left that it can emit? So as a project, it's had massive impact. It's underpinned and set new ambitious policy in Manchester, and it looks set to be adopted elsewhere too. A big well done to Carly and the entire Scatter team. This is something that is extremely innovative. It's made a massive difference already to the ambitions and policy framework of the place we live, and I think it's set to have equal, if not greater, influence across the country. Well done.
Thank you, Colette, and congratulations to all the winners for their amazing work. Our last award in this first half of the evening is for Outstanding Contribution to Social Innovation. Can I invite Andy Westwood, Vice Dean for Social Responsibility, to come up to the stage and announce the winners in this category. Andy.
Well, thank you very much. As James says, the award I'm presenting tonight is for Outstanding Contribution to Social Innovation. It's to recognise outstanding projects or enterprises that are demonstrating or have the potential to demonstrate the creation of a novel solution to a social problem. Open envelope. In my case, for the 7th time tonight. I've practised. The first highly commended award goes to a partnership with Urban Chain to develop an energy trading platform using blockchain and artificial intelligence technologies that can reduce energy bills. The award goes to Richard Banak and Sumaye Taheri. The second highly commended award goes to a project that provides a high-quality, low-cost, innovative English language teaching programme for non-English speaking mothers. The programme combines language content and parenting information. Congratulations to Sharon Freeman, Ludovica Seratrice, Elena Leven, Katie Finch, Helen Allwood and Thea Cameron Faulkner for ESOL Stepping Stones. The winners in this category created gamified exercise and falls prevention digital platform with and for older people using tablet technology. It promotes access and engagement to exercise based on clinically proven routines and improves awareness of nutrition, safety at home and health literacy. The winners are Emma Stanmore and Paul Dewick for Keep On, Keep Up. Here's a short film about Emma and Paul's work.
Paul and Emma came to us at Reason Digital with this idea for research that they'd been working on around how to improve older people's health through nudge theory and gamification. But they didn't know how to kind of use the technology to make it happen and to realise it. And so between us, we came up with the idea of the Keep On, Keep Up app and all the games and the quizzes that formed it. I think Paul and Emma deserve this award because of the way that they are a beacon, I think, for other researchers at the university, for the way that they work with us as a business, and in the way that they are bringing research to the wider market. And this is one of those things that will help as more and more of us get older and the older population increases, that we can make sure that people are not just living longer, but living better longer as well. Congratulations, Paul and Emma, on winning this award. It's been amazing working with you, and I hope we can work together for years to come.
Thank you, Andy, and well done to all our winners. Now I would like to welcome Edward Astle, Chair of the University's Board of Governors, to the stage to give some thoughts about the achievements we've seen so far tonight, and also to introduce the next section. Ed.
Well, good evening, everybody. Distinguished guests, but most of all, distinguished winners and distinguished runners-up. It isn't a duty, it's actually an absolute privilege and pleasure for me as chair of the board to be here again. This is one of the most brilliant events, I think, in the whole of the university calendar. I have a strong personal interest in the things that we're looking at here, and as chair of the board, I can say the whole board are immensely proud of the university's commitment to social responsibility. Nancy led the way, and actually it's one of the key uniquenesses of this institution, as you said, Nancy, in your opening remarks. There's no other university that has put this quite at the same level of strategy. And it's also a sign of the huge connectedness that we have with the city and indeed with the greater region. I'm standing between you and the top-up of drinks, which I'm sure many people need and I would also enjoy, so I will be extremely brief. I do two things. James wanted me to review where we've got to. It's well nigh impossible. How does one summarise this extraordinary variety and diversity of powerful impact in all these different ways that all of your initiatives are having? We've seen examples from mental health to activity in prisons, from inspiring school children to step up to science, to helping elderly people keep up, from criminology to climate change. The range just goes on, and there's yet more to come in the second half of this evening. It's all dazzling, and it all proves one of the key underlying principles of what we're doing here in terms of social responsibility. This is not an add-on activity for the university. It's not something which James and Julian and their central team are doing. They're very important in catalysing it. But as we've seen, all of this is embedded in all the facets of the institution. We see it at faculty level, at school level, at institute level, across the cultural institutions, through our professional services. It's actually running through part of the lifeblood of all that the university is about. So no wonder we won this exceptional award, Nancy's current favourite league table, where we are now number 1 in the Europe and the UK and number 3 in the world. And it is only a league table, but it's a very, very fair representation of all that we've seen in the first half of tonight and what we're about to go on to see subsequently. So that's so much for the review of Mission Impossible. My second task was actually just to introduce a key milestone for one of the longest standing initiatives which we've had, the School Governor Initiative. Now, Nancy leaked this actually in her prior remarks this evening. You all know that we encourage staff and alumni to volunteer to serve on state school boards within the region. This is to help raise the levels of leadership and governance within our schools. And this programme has been growing and growing and growing. And I think we're about to see that we have now passed the 1,000th milestone. 1,000 members of our staff and alumni are now present on school boards locally in the region. So it's a fantastic example, another example against all the other ones that we've seen today. And I think that you were going to step up, Stephanie, and say a few more about that. So, end of my remarks. Drinks are nearly coming. Over to the... here we go. I'll do that.
Thanks very much, Edward, for that introduction. As Edward mentioned, tonight the Making a Difference spotlight is on our School Governor Initiative to celebrate the achievement of this major milestone, exceeding 1,000 governors in our network of staff and alumni. This is a tremendous achievement from a baseline of 52 governors in 2011. And to mark the occasion, we've invited people who have been involved in the initiative to share their perspectives with you this evening. To understand the significance of this, it's important to have an awareness of the role of a school governor. School governors are the largest group of volunteers in UK education. A school governing board provides strategic leadership and accountability in schools and an effective board is essential for schools and colleges to deliver excellent outcomes for their learners. However, schools in the most challenging areas struggle to recruit governors with the relevant skills and experiences to perform these critical roles. So why and how has the university become one of the most successful organisations for the recruitment of school governors? Firstly, the initiative addressed a clear need. Schools in disadvantaged areas needed governors with skills and experience, and the university has an abundance of staff and alumni who can fill these gaps. The map on the screen shows the coverage achieved through our staff and alumni taking up governor positions, which are represented by the purple dots. The yellow dots highlight schools with above average numbers of children eligible for free school meals. This shows a strong correlation between areas of highest deprivation and our school governor network coverage. Secondly, partnership working has been key. Firstly, with Governors for Schools, and more recently with Inspiring Governance. These organisations act as the matchmakers, placing volunteers in state schools, often in the most disadvantaged areas, to address vacancies and skill gaps on those governing boards. Thirdly is the commitment from the university to ensure appropriate support for staff who want to undertake this voluntary role. This has included amending our public service leave policy to provide staff with 5 additional days' leave to carry out their governor duties. Finally, and something which makes our initiative unique, is the professional development support. Through network meetings, e-communication and an annual conference, regular opportunities are provided for staff to receive training and share best practice. This is often via peer support, and a good example is when a governor gets the Ofsted phone call and immediately sends an email asking if anyone is free for a coffee to have a chat about that. An additional benefit of our governor network has been also to cement and extend our relationships with schools and colleges, particularly involving them in our widening participation work. We want to share this success with other universities and have been raising awareness of the initiative across the sector. It's our ambition to help eliminate school governor shortages in the most disadvantaged areas, and tonight it's wonderful to recognise the progress that's been made so far. Thank you to all staff and alumni here tonight who are doing this very important job, and to all the prospective school governors out there. I can say from my own experience how rewarding this role is, and if you want to help us get to 2,000, please come and speak to me in the break.
Hello everyone, I'm delighted to be with you here tonight to celebrate. Governors for Schools is a national education charity, and we were set up 20 years ago following kind of pioneering PhD research which showed and demonstrated the value of bringing business management skills into school governance and to improve school performance. Our partnership with the University of Manchester is of huge value to us, and that's primarily because of all of the skills that your staff and alumni have brought to those schools' boards. But it's also about influencing other universities, as Stephanie mentioned. So in recent years, many universities have been coming here and saying, how do you do it? And they are following your lead. Thank you. We have hundreds of school vacancies at any one time across the country. And those schools with significant vacancies will really struggle to do the critical thinking and to make effective strategic decisions. Our ambition is that all schools in England have effective governance. And so, with the right people around the table, with a full governing board, with the skills, with the commitment, and actually diversity, in that situation, children and young people do benefit and have an excellent education. And this is particularly true because of the financial constraints that schools face today, and also, as you'll have read earlier this week, the fact that social mobility is stagnating, and our Social Mobility Commission report is well worth a read. So I'd just like to close by saying a huge thank you to all of the staff and alumni who are school governors, to encourage those who are thinking about it. We find there's always a little need to nudge over the line. and really to thank all of those governors for your contribution, for making a difference.
I'm Jill Roberts. I'm Financial Controller at the University of Manchester. I became a governor at Kingsway Community Trust about 2 years ago, specifically to bring finance skills onto the governing body, following a gap being identified on a skills audit. I had no experience of school governance, but I felt this would be an interesting challenge, as well as support the university's strategic goal of social responsibility. Fulfilling this role has brought many benefits to me as an individual. It's widened my experience of working with an organisation at board level. In a large organisation such as the university, very few staff have that opportunity within their normal day-to-day roles. I've been able to develop wider skills both within my own specialism of finance and outside it. In a large organisation, it's very easy to become siloed in our roles, and this role has given me an opportunity to work with a much wider remit in a smaller organisation. I found that it's widened my perspective and presented the opportunity to evaluate different ways of working and learn from them. It has been a two-way challenge. In some cases, I've been able to look at different approaches from the ones I'm used to and found them positive and valid, and I've been able to support them as a good way of working as a governor. In other cases, I've challenged the organisation and been able to steer change in business practices. In addition, I've been able to bring this back to the wider experience into my own role within the university and develop the way we work as a result. I've had the opportunity of working collaboratively with an exceptional group of individuals, including my chair, in a minute, and I've learned a great deal from them. It's been an immensely satisfying part of being a wider team member, working together from different backgrounds and specialisms to bring outstanding education to children in a deprived inner city community, greatly enhancing their life chances as a result. Overall, I found being a school governor a hugely rewarding role, and I would thoroughly recommend it to anyone who wishes to, as said to Speaker Stephanie. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ariana Yakas. I'm the chair of the Kingsway Community Trust. I've been a school governor for nearly 20 years, and one of the things that I have learned over the years is how vital it is to have people on our school governing bodies that not only bring the right skills, but also have the time commitment and the passion for good education. That is really, really key. So as governors, as Stephanie's mentioned before, we're tasked with holding our senior leaders to account. We oversee the financial performance of our schools, making sure that it's public money that is well spent, and we ensure that there's clarity of vision, the ethos of the school, and there's this clear strategic direction. So it's not a walk in the park, actually, being a governor, but I'll be honest with you, it's really, really hard to recruit, especially in some of our more socially deprived areas. So that is why, for us, the Kingsway Community Trust, the Manchester University Governor Initiative has been so important and so beneficial. You have such a treasure of skills and diversity of knowledge amongst your staff. You also understand the value of education. So 3 years ago, our trust board needed someone with financial expertise. Your network had just the right person for us. Jill has provided our board with invaluable guidance and advice in her professional capacity. She has brought a unique experience, perspective, and insight into our decision-making process. It's been absolutely amazing. So I would like to thank the University of Manchester for supporting and giving Jill the time to undertake her volunteering work. And finally, fourth time round, if you aren't doing so already, please think about being a governor. Go where you are most needed, and in some of our socially deprived schools, go where you can make a difference. Thank you.
So I'm Richard Screeton, I'm head of the alumni office here at the University of Manchester, and it's really good to talk about the contribution that our alumni have made to the School Governors Programme. Our alumni have always volunteered for the university in a range of ways. Last year, nearly 4,000 of them volunteered to help our students succeed while they're studying here and to succeed on graduation as well. But being approached by Stephanie and the team gave us a new opportunity for our alumni to support their local communities. Alumni sometimes ask us why the university is inviting them to be a school governor. Effectively, what has it got to do with Manchester as a university? But their participation in the programme shows the power of our alumni network as a force for good. Manchester's got the largest alumni population of any university in the UK. They live and work across the country, which puts us in a unique position to be able to find the right sort of people to fill governor vacancies. They're from a diverse range of backgrounds, they've got a diverse range of life experiences, and they all have a higher level qualification, and it puts them in a great position to make a real impact as governors. And when we ask them to participate, we uniformly get a tremendous response, which has contributed significantly to the ever-growing numbers of governors and is exceeding that 1,000 number. So thank you to all of our alumni particularly, and the graduates who are involved in the programme, and I think we've now got a short video.
Thank you, and congratulations to everyone who's worked on the School Governors Initiative, and particular congratulations on reaching that 1,000 governor mark. And of course, the other thing they said about please sign up if you haven't already. Now, we're going to have a 10-minute comfort break. So take the opportunity to meet friends, fill up your glasses, and the proceedings will start again in 10 minutes prompt. Thanks ever so much. So welcome back. Welcome back. And of course, it's absolutely fine to continue sneaking to the back to fill up your glasses if you need to. Now, we're in our second half, and the first Making a Difference award in this part of the evening is for outstanding professional services support for social responsibility. And I would like to invite Patrick Hackett, the Registrar, Secretary and Chief Operating Officer, to the stage to introduce these awards. Patrick.
Thank you, James. I'm really pleased to be here tonight at my very first Making a Difference Awards. So I have the honour of presenting this award, which recognises social responsibility, innovation and impact in the university's professional services. So there is one highly commended and one winner in this category. The highly commended award goes to an initiative run by the university's Career Service to improve the employability outcomes of students from widening participation backgrounds through the provision of bespoke services and activities. So please join me in congratulating Andrew Whitmore, Caroline Everson, Janet Willis, Alex Jones, Megan Yang, and Marilyn King. And so, the winner of this award ran a highly successful #Let'sTalkLynch national media campaign on the genetic condition Lynch syndrome. It highlighted the need for women diagnosed with womb cancer to be systematically screened for this disorder in order to inform their treatment and to improve outcomes. The National Institute for Health and Care Excellence recently officially began the first steps in the process of using this research to inform a national policy recommendation. The winner is Craig Whittle. So let's find out a little bit more about Craig's national campaign.
Lynch syndrome is a genetic condition that affects men and women, but in women presents in breast cancer and bowel cancer. By testing for this condition, we can increase their survival rates and hopefully monitor them so if they do get bowel cancer, they can be treated. So Craig's been working with Dr. Emma Crosby and Dr. Neil Ryan to look at raising an awareness campaign around this issue. They started a campaign around the #Let'sTalkLynch and invited patients in to come and talk about their personal stories, their experiences of this, and also with the researchers to provide a number of very short videos that went out there. They then used this campaign as part of an engagement process to speak to NICE, which is the National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, to try and get them to change their guidelines so that women would be routinely screened for Lynch when they presented with breast cancer. Craig, I think we would all thank you for your enthusiasm, your tenacity, your patience and your thoughtfulness in delivering this campaign and supporting not only the researchers and the academics within the university, but the people who have been suffering with that condition and their families and how they're going to benefit from that. So huge well done from us at Policy at Manchester.
Thank you very much to Patrick, and congratulations to Craig and also to our colleagues from Careers Services. The next award tonight is for Outstanding Contribution to environmental sustainability. And I'd like to invite Amanda Bamford and James Evans, the Joint Academic Leads for Environmental Sustainability, to introduce these awards. Amanda and James.
Hi. Actually, Sheena, I think I've got the opposite problem to you. I'm really honoured to be here to award for the award for outstanding contribution to environmental sustainability. We're really pleased to present these awards tonight, which recognise innovation and commitment to environmental sustainability. The first highly commended award goes to the School of Law's Legal Advice Centre, who, in a bid to reduce their impact on the environment, went completely paperless. So congratulations to Chloe McAvoy and Finton Walker. The second highly commended award goes to someone who is involved in an international collaboration to develop a measurement standard which will reduce the emissions of soot from large aircraft engines. The award goes to Paul Williams. I'd like now to hand over the mic to James.
Thank you very much, Amanda. We are on to the winners of the Outstanding Contribution to Environmental Sustainability Award. The winners ran a campaign to collect clothes from staff to provide smart clothing for local women attending job interviews. I'm pleased to say the winners are Holly Sager, Mariana Pinheiro, Alice Hope, Amy Rose, and Ella Jo Moncrief.
SmartWorks is a national charity and there's a centre in Stockport near us. They help unemployed women get into work by supporting them through clothing advice, career advice, supporting women to get into work so that they could support themselves, support their families. Holly and the Atrium Green Impact team, they ran this campaign to collect donation of good quality women's clothing items. The collection ran for about 2 weeks last year and they collected 50 bags of donation. I think it is something close to their heart and it takes a lot of coordination from promoting the campaign, collecting, organising the venue, organising the transport. The Atrium team also achieved the environment benefit of diverting clothes that would otherwise go to landfill. Hi Holly and everyone in the Atrium Green Impact team, thank you so much for your hard work in this campaign and congratulations on winning this award. Your campaign has been inspiring and we look forward to collaborating with your team in the future.
Thank you to Amanda and James. And again, congratulations to all the winners and all the highly commended. Now for our penultimate award. And we return to the category that each year receives the most number of entries, that is, outstanding public and community engagement. So I'd like to invite Mahesh Nimalan, Vice Dean for Social Responsibility, and Stephanie Snow, the Academic Lead for Community Engagement and Involvement, onto the stage to introduce these awards. Welcome.
Thank you, James. Passion, commitment, and a sense of excitement in everything that we do is what makes Manchester and this university a special place. I couldn't help but notice how our Chancellor embodies all those attributes. We are here to present the award for Outstanding Public and Community Engagement Initiative, both national and international initiatives. Early this evening, we saw a number of really amazing public and community engagement initiatives, and now we are here to celebrate outstanding national and international public and community engagement projects. The first highly commended award goes to a group of students who empowered health workers in Uganda to tell their stories of serving in rural public hospitals. These stories were then used to inform policy and public opinion. The awardees are Rosemary Nakami, Winfred Nakawizi, and Stephen Tivamugisha. But unfortunately, they cannot be with us tonight, but Joanne Jacobs is going to collect the certificate on their behalf. Joanne. The second highly commended award goes to an engaging virtual reality project that gave people an insect eye view of orchid pollination. Congratulations to Rachel Webster, Minson King, and Noah Mabi for the orchid pollinator experience. The third highly commended award goes to a team from the Computing at School Regional Center and the School of Computer Sciences who have brought computing to pupils and teachers in a school in Malawi. Well done, Project Malawi Team 2018.
The next highly commended award goes to a programme who worked with trainers from the National Theatre to use forum theatre to help those with disabilities facing stigmatisation in northern Uganda. And this award goes to In Place of War. And the last highly commended award in this category goes to an experiment that addressed something that can affect most of us at some point in our lives, loneliness. It aimed to collect new data on loneliness and discuss the findings via a radio series on Radio 4 and the World Service. So the award goes to Pamela Qualter, Christina Victor, Manuela Beretta, Claudia Hammond and Geraldine Fitzgerald for the BBC Loneliness Experiment. And finally, the moment you've been waiting for, the winner in this last outstanding public and community engagement category. The award goes to a centre that is only one of only 4 across the country, which provides law students with a unique opportunity to investigate cases of people convicted of serious crimes who are maintaining their innocence. The winners are Claire Macaulay and Fintan Walker from the Miscarriages of Justice Review Centre. And now we've got a short film about their work.
Miscarriages of justice have been a long-standing problem of criminal justice. Mistakes happen, and it's looking for ways of finding them, discovering miscarriages, and how to deal with them. Students have traditionally in the United States played a central part in exposing miscarriages of justice, and several years ago similar projects were set up in the UK. And the Miscarriages Justice Review Centre is one of such centres. So what the students are doing is actually challenging the process or the legal process, and it's an empowering exercise in that for both for the victims of injustice and also for the students getting an insight into this sort of work. I'd like to congratulate Claire, Fintan and Andrew for their fantastic work at the Miscarriages of Justice Review Centre, and their determination in making this such a successful project for our students.
Thank you to Stephanie and Mahesh. The last Making a Difference Award category tonight is Outstanding Contribution to Widening Participation. As I mentioned earlier this evening, as well as the usual judging awards, this year we have a People's Choice Award in this category. This award has been voted as a winner by you. I'd like to invite Stephanie Lee, Head of Widening Participation, and Professor Paul Matavenga, Vice Dean for Social Responsibility, to this stage to introduce these awards. Paul and Stephanie.
There's no excuse for not becoming a school governor. I tweeted the link, so hashtag Making a Difference Awards. Okay, down to the business. We are both delighted to be presenting these awards tonight. This category recognises outstanding contributions to widening participation locally, nationally or internationally. It also recognises work that takes place outside our central widening participation team. So it's especially pleasing for me to see how much activity is taking place across the institution and how valued this work to increase equity of opportunity is. There are highly commended and winners for both student and staff categories, as well as the public vote winner. So the first awards are in the student category. The first highly commended award goes to a well-established and positively evaluated WP initiative, which has been a collaboration with a local widening participation school for the last 5 years. Please congratulate Louise and Carmen for the Psychology, Education and Wellbeing in Schools project. The second highly commended award goes to someone who has been a Widening Participation Fellow for 5 years and a Manchester Access Programme tutor for 4 years. She has also founded a campaign to encourage more girls into science and engineering called Women in Science. Unfortunately, Reese isn't able to be with here this evening, but we will ensure that she gets her award. Maybe we should give her a round of applause in her absence. If you're watching this on the live stream, Reese, well done. And now for our student winner of the Outstanding Contribution to Widening Participation Award. It goes to an initiative aimed at primary school children from disadvantaged backgrounds. Together with more than 100 volunteers, a team of students have welcomed more than 300 children and teachers to the campus for a full day of activities. Please congratulate the Funfair team.
Disadvantaged kids in Manchester who don't necessarily know about university or have the option to go to university. Funfair is a project that was started by Andrea in the 2017-18 academic year. She started it from scratch and that brings 60 kids at a time to the Students' Union to do a range of activities. They go around in a carousel over the course of a morning, they get fed and then they get taken on a campus tour around the university. It's definitely a big job for Andrea, especially as she's a master's student. I think she has like 3 jobs as well on top of all of that. So running a project is quite a big thing, especially when she has volunteers that are under as well that need to come together to do 3 different big events for 60 kids with all the ordering and getting the resources together and everything like that. Congratulations, Andrea, you really deserve it. You've been amazing over the past 2 years and I hope you continue to succeed.
I am delighted to present the last and the signature awards, or shall I say the icing on the cake. Now I have to open the envelope. Let's see. The first highly commended award goes to an initiative that supported the recruitment of diverse groups of teacher trainees accompanied by experienced coaches to support vulnerable groups through the postgraduate certificate in education year. The award goes to Lisa Mehta, Andy House, Liz Bechnell, Rebecca Williams, Conrad Chapman, and Hannah Strickland. The second highly commended award goes to a research partnership with the Manchester-based organization Women Asylum Seekers Together. RECOS trains female asylum seekers as community researchers. Please congratulate Robina Jassani, Jenna Marie D. Lopez. And finally, the staff winner for the outstanding contribution to widening participation goes to a program that inspires and supports academically able state school students from underrepresented backgrounds who are interested in a career in law. I haven't finished. The award goes to Saba Misha Fay, Ruth Lamont, Nikki Butler, Javier Garcia Oliva, and Laura Littlewood. Now let's take you on a journey of their project.
Research by the Sutton Trust showed that the top tiers of the legal profession were mainly drawn from a very narrow range of social backgrounds. Pathways to Law was founded to widen access to both higher education and the legal profession from those students who may come from state school backgrounds, have no family history of higher education, may have been eligible for free school meals or looked after or in care. Academic Taster Days bring students from colleges to the Manchester University. They'll attend some mooting competitions, workshops with solicitors, barristers and paralegals, as well as work experience placements. Many of our Pathways alumni keep in touch with us, and one of our alumni tells us that the highlight of Pathways for her was gaining access to a top law firm, which she would not have been able to gain access to without being on the scheme. Congratulations, Saba, for all of your hard work on the Pathways scheme. It's really paid off. You've been really inspirational for all of those students who've taken part in Pathways.
So, Saba, we haven't finished with you yet. This might be a little bit of a clue to what's coming up next. As James mentioned, this year we were given the opportunity to be part of the public vote. 3 entries were selected by the judging panel to be put forward, and I am delighted to say that the Pathways to Law project was voted the favourite. Congratulations, you are the winner of the public vote.
Thank you ever so much to Stephanie and Paul, and congratulations to all the winners this evening. I'm delighted that a panel of experts and a vote in the public actually agreed with each other. We now want to share with you something that happened earlier today when we held our annual Volunteer of the Year Social Responsibility Awards. The winners in the first 3 categories received the university's Medal for Social Responsibility, and this year, for the first time, student groups have been recognised. I'm going to tell you the winners. They are, for the Alumni Volunteer of the Year Award was Natalie Chung, the Staff Volunteer of the Year was Hamid Haroun, and the Student Volunteer of the Year was Ayla Atay, and the Student Group Volunteer of the Year is Once a Month. Now, if any of those groups, it sounds like some of those, if any of those groups are here, they've already done it, you see. Please just make yourself known by whatever way you would like, and we would like to give you a round of applause. So wave your hands if you're here, and we should give you a round of applause. I was at the ceremony at lunchtime, and we saw the scope of their work. It was truly fantastic. Now, we're delighted tonight that the Vice Lord Lieutenant is here with us. And I would now like to invite him up onto the stage to say a few words. You're welcome.
Thank you all very much on this lovely evening. Thank you to Lord Mayor of Manchester for being here, to James and to Julian and to Lem. Thank you, Lem. And obviously to Nancy too. It gives me the greatest pleasure to share this inspirational evening with you all tonight in this magnificent building. A jewel in Manchester's heritage crown, I think. It's so magnificent, isn't it? I think it's wonderful. For those of you who are wondering what a Vice Lord Lieutenant does, let me first explain something about the Greater Manchester Lieutenancy. Greater Manchester is one of 55 lieutenancies in England and Wales that exist to support communities and community engagement. We are effectively the eyes and the ears of the Crown in the county. So it's a wonderful responsibility. The Lord Lieutenant, who many of you will know, is a gentleman called Warren Smith, who is very familiar with the university and attends many events here. And he is the Queen's representative in the county. And he is assisted in his duties by around 70 deputy lieutenants. Some of those deputies are here this evening. Atia, who was speaking earlier, and Arimba, who was part of the judging panel for one of the categories earlier on. And of course, your President and Vice-Chancellor Nancy is also a Deputy Lieutenant of Greater Manchester. Now, my role as Vice Lord Lieutenant is to assist the Lord Lieutenant in the performance of his duties, and they're very wide and varied. And they include escorting royal visitors across the county when they visit, to presenting honours to very worthy individuals who have worked hard to be recognised. And a key part of our work, an important part of our work, is to give a view on the civic and social life of the city. And it's a huge city, as you all know, with a tremendous amount of great work going on. We promote the Queen's Awards for voluntary service, the Queen's Award for Enterprise, which is a business award, as you know, and we are always looking out for very worthy individuals who have worked hard enough to be recognised with the UK National Honour. And we're also very busy with citizenship ceremonies. So it is absolutely appropriate that myself and my colleagues here this evening come here to share with you what has been a wonderful celebration. So much incredible social impact, so much energy, so much enthusiasm, so many good things helping so many people. There's a lot to be very happy about, I think. And this wonderful university has made that possible, and you should all feel very proud of that. And in the past year, from widening participation in some of the initiatives to women in science, which we've heard about, from sustainability to disability, from social justice to the miscarriage of justice, and from Malawi to Miles Platting. The breadth, I think we'll all agree, is quite breathtaking, and I know that what we've seen tonight really only scratches the surface of what's really going on, and these are merely the highlights of a much bigger picture. In recent times, there's been a great deal of talk about the civic role of universities certainly in the past year, as if this is something new, and it's something that universities need to somehow rediscover. But this couldn't be further from the truth, could it? At least for this university. As England's first civic university in the 19th century, the University of Manchester has maintained true to its roots. And it's reflected most visibly in the commitment given to social responsibility, be that here on campus, across the region, or even around the world. At a time when we face some of the biggest political, health, social, and environmental challenges of our time, it is even more important for the people in universities that their staff, their students, and alumni to be harnessing their talents, which we know you do, and harnessing those resources for the wider benefit of society. And as Vice Lord Lieutenant of Greater Manchester, I wanted to formally record my gratitude to all of you and to the university, and my sincere thanks to everyone at this great university who makes your commitment to this social responsibility a reality through the way that you engage, the way that you inspire, and the way that you involve the public in your work. Communicating these stories, as we all know, can act as a catalyst for more impact, and it is inspirational for other people to observe what is going on here. And so, by way of conclusion, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the premiere of a new video that will be shared far and wide digitally, which shares the human impact stories of 3 important initiatives to this university. The Works Employment Initiative, the School Governor Initiative, which I had the personal pleasure of assessing for a coveted Queen's Award when I came here 3 years ago, and the School Governors Initiative, as you may know, was successful in gaining a coveted Queen's Award for voluntary service, and I think I'm right in saying it was 3 years ago. Tremendous achievement. And finally, we'll see and hear about the Equity and Merit Scholarships. Thank you for a wonderful evening.
The University of Manchester is unique in British higher education for having social responsibility as one of our core goals. We seek to make a difference through our teaching, research and public engagement activities on campus, in our local communities and across the world.
In Manchester, there are a number of unemployed people where there is a huge skills gap. The Works is an employer-led, community-based hub in which we provide local people with support around skills and employability.
There is that fear of, am I good enough? Am I going to be able to make it? I grew up in Hume, 15 minutes walk from the university, depending on how quick you walk. They were always there to kind of back me up and say, right, so this is where you go from here, which helped me kind of think, okay, I could do this.
We've helped over 4,000 people from the local Manchester area into employment. It has helped the local economy with a rough estimate of about £60.4 million.
An employment opportunity came from the University of Manchester, and it was to work in the admin role that I always wanted to do. So I went for it.
We're also keen to make a difference to the schools in our region and nationally, and we have a programme which gives staff an opportunity to take governor positions in local or national schools.
For us as a school, it is a real challenge getting the right people to engage with school governance and want to be part of the process. And the right person coming along and being part of the team, it can be make or break for us.
I think the School Governor Initiative is a really, really worthwhile scheme. It's allowed me to do something that I've always been interested in doing, and it makes a real difference because it puts staff into schools where governors are often in short supply.
We were really pleased by how positively our staff and alumni received this initiative. We've really led the way on this agenda at the University of Manchester by becoming the first university to create more than 1,000 governors amongst our committed staff and alumni bodies.
We're based here in Manchester and we have a commitment to our city, but also we do world-leading research which is tackling some of the biggest issues of our day. Equity and Merit is our premier international signature programme which assists talented but economically disadvantaged people into courses here in the university.
Manchester's got more international students than anywhere else in the UK, and that diversity really helps our teaching and our research as well. But Olivier brings a very specific experience because he comes from a working laboratory.
I was working in blood transfusion service in Rwanda. Rwanda is actually aspiring to be the hub of healthcare in Africa. This scholarship is going to change my life. because I'm acquiring first-hand information from researchers who are leading in this field. So having this knowledge, I know that I can make the difference in Rwanda.
Social responsibility, I think, is about why we do the work we do. It's the motivation, it's the inspiration about wanting to make a difference through our work.
It's highlighted things that I knew I was capable of and that I'm able to now do. It's gave me that confidence of being a mother and being able to set an example for my children.
I think social responsibility is really important in the university. It underpins everything we do, whether that's teaching, research, the way we run the institution.
Helping countries like Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia is something that will help the lives of citizens of those countries.
Everybody has a responsibility to those around them. That support can mean a difference between somebody being isolated and unemployed for a longer period of time to them moving on and becoming more confident and make a difference to their lives.
Social responsibility will continue to be at the core of this university. It's the best part for me of higher education, explaining that we are intimately connected to our local communities and make a difference there.
Vice Lord Lieutenant, thank you very much for those kind words and for joining us this evening. Now, James might be slightly confused because in his own version of the schedule, he was just asking me there, I'm not supposed to be here, but the reason I'm stood here is that in case you didn't know this, this is sadly James's fifth but final event as Vice President for Social Responsibility. After this summer, many of you know that James is standing down as our Vice President to pursue some really exciting research opportunities over the next stage of his career. I know his wife, Debbie, has kindly joined us at the back, and I think she's going to also become accustomed to some slightly longer holidays, we hope, once James has his new role. On a personal note, James, you've been with me since the beginning on social responsibility as Associate Dean in the Faculty of Humanities, as Associate Vice President, and also as Vice President. And without getting too emotional, working with you has been a real highlight of my career. I will say that. It's been fun, it's been really hard work, but it's been a real pleasure to see the difference that you've been able to make to this agenda. You've really made a real and lasting difference. So here's what a random selection of colleagues had to say about you.
Hi, James. Thank you so much for your great contributions, not just to social responsibility, where you have made a real difference, but to the university more widely. Very best wishes in your future endeavours, but by the way, I'm not going to be leaving you alone. Thanks.
Hi James, I just want to say thank you for everything you've done for social responsibility at the University of Manchester over these last few years, and specifically for all the help you've given me over the last 4 years, both when working in social responsibility and in all those other things that we've worked on together. It's been a long time since we did Hollywood film in the 1980s in this university, but it only feels like a few minutes.
Hi James, you have been inspirational. Thank you for all your leadership over the years in SR. You've been calm, collected, and in the most in control. Good luck for the future. Thank you so much.
Hi James, thank you for all the support you've given to the BAME Staff Network and to myself personally over the years. It's been a great honour and pleasure working with you. Good luck and all the very best for the future.
James, thank you for looking after me in my first year at the Whitworth. You've been an absolute rock. Thank you also for shepherding me, introducing me into the university, but doing so with a mischievous smile and an appetite for concocting imaginative ideas and possibilities for what we might do together with the university. So my first thought is don't go, but on the other hand, I'm looking forward to seeing you every day here at the Whitworth, working with me in the Worthington room, concocting new, wacky, crazy ideas for what might happen next.
Hi James, just wanted to say enjoyed every second working with you. Thank you so much for your leadership, your support, for everything that you've done personally for me, but also for the environmental sustainability agenda. So the team and I just want to say a big thank you. We're really going to miss you. There's so much we can say, We've had fun. It's been at times challenging, hasn't it, trying to get some things through, but we got there and we've done it, and now the hard work starts. So we'll come and find you, come for cups of teas and coffees and chats. So thank you very, very, very much. Thank you.
Hi James, I just want to say thank you for all your support, enthusiasm and words of wisdom. You've truly made a difference to equality and diversity at this university, and I wish you the very best of luck with whatever you decide to do in place of social responsibility.
James, it's been great working with you on the university's history and heritage. Your thoughtfulness and integrity have made a real impact. Now, as I keep delving into the university's past, I wish you every success with your future.
Dear James, many thanks for your excellent leadership of the social responsibility goal, and many thanks for leaving us the goal in such a brilliant shape, top in Europe for addressing the Sustainable Development Goals, and a gold charter mark for public engagement. Excellent, many thanks.
So James, I wanted to say a huge thank you for the last year, for appointing me, but mostly for your vision. I'm going to miss your brain, I'm going to miss our conversations, I'm going to miss your challenge and support and your care. And I know you're not going far, and I really hope that we're going to work together lots in the future, and I can't wait to see what you're going to do. I wish you well, and I think your contribution's been extraordinary.
Hi James, at a time when people were leaving the northern eastern provinces of Sri Lanka in their drones due to the escalating war, you were one of the very few people who chose to go there and spend part of your sabbatical leave with the affected people of Jaffna and Batticaloa, thereby putting people like me to shame. We at FBMH will certainly miss your inspiring leadership and guidance.
Thank you, James, for all your support and help over your tenure of the social responsibility role. We're really grateful to you from the Cultural Institution at Jodrell Bank, not only for your work supporting us in things of Blue Dot and our wonderful education programme, but also the World Heritage Site process, which has been such a challenge over the last few years. And it's been great to have you as a fellow traveller with us, helping us along the way. So thank you and good luck with the next exciting things that you're going to do with your life.
James, it's been such a privilege to be able to work with you these last few years. I've learned such a lot from working with you, and I've really appreciated the mentoring that you've given me as I've grown in my role from senior lecturer through to prof, and all the support and enthusiasm you've shown for us developing the public engagement agenda together. And remember, if you ever do want to come and see the lab and see all those parasites, the door is always open.
I feel a bit like the Prime Minister stood here doing this, presuming Theresa May's still in power, of course, by the time you see this. James, what can I say about you? Thanks very much for everything you've done for social responsibility. I can't believe you're abandoning us to go and become a proper academic again. There's two things I'd say about you. First of all, you're somebody that has enormous respect and integrity from people right across the institution, whether that's your academic colleagues, your professional services colleagues, or people in the cultural institutions, and that's been really important for our agenda and is something you really epitomise. Secondly, I think it's safe to say you're the only Vice President I know of that has a tattoo. So in all seriousness, thank you very much, James. You've been brilliant for the social responsibility agenda, and good luck with everything in the next stage of your career.
The University of Manchester has how we engage as an institution with our local and international.
Don't move your feet.
Yeah.
So we don't get any noise.
Then can we do some surfing on the back? Okay. Right. A living campus, responsible purchasing, travel, energy, waste, and finally water. Each idiot, idio, waste, and finally water. Each idiot. Idiot. For some reason, I'm reading video as an idiot. Each vid.
You want to do it again?
Sorry about that, James. My staff said, should we put that out live on YouTube straight afterwards? You can all get a link, MAD Awards, to that video, so please retweet that widely. I took executive responsibility for that. People said, should they check with James first? I said, no. I know him well enough. He's got a good sense of humour. You've given out loads of awards. We think, don't we, that James deserves his own Making a Difference awards. Do we? Yeah. So it gives me great pleasure for Chancellor Lemsasay to come over. Go and get your own Making a Difference award, please.
Oh dear. Well, that's not what it said here. Thank you ever so much. I'm now going to say the word idiot frequently. I'm very, very proud of this. I have been immensely proud to lead this, I can't clearly speak now, immensely proud to lead. And to lead. I've been immensely proud to lead this agenda for the last so many years. But it's only been possible with an amazing team of professional colleagues, academic colleagues, professional services colleagues, and also the inspiring work that is done across this university. From my point of view, social responsibility is why we do this. It's why I became an academic. The idea of trying to make a difference to the wider world, whether it's just immediately here in Manchester or way beyond. So I've been very proud to lead this agenda. I won't go far. People can come and find me. It sounds like from the video some people are going to come and find me, even for a coffee. So thank you very much for that deeply embarrassing set of videos. But I also, and I'm going to end, and I'm going to go back to the script. And I'm going back to, no, I'm going to go back to the script just to say thank you to everyone who's made this event possible. Thank you to all the winners and all those people who entered this exercise. And thank you to all the judges who did such amazing work to make it happen. I'd like to thank our guests, the Vice Lord Lieutenant and the Lord Mayor. I'd like to thank particularly, well, no, I was going to thank the AV colleagues. But I now know some of those AV colleagues had that blooper tape, and that's a couple of years old. So I'm not no thank you to the tech AV people. Yes, thank you to the catering, University of Manchester Catering, for feeding and watering us all through the evening. And finally, thanks to the amazing Office for Social Responsibility team, Julian and all my colleagues, who've made this a fantastic agenda to be working on, and of course made this an amazing event. Thank you very much, travel safely, and see you again soon. Thank you.